Monte de Ramos.
Opo.
Pero yung Monte de Ramos, kasama ni Wilkins at that time.
Sa palagay ko po, kasi nasa office po kami ng PIDEA, tao niya po kasi siya po yung ano.
So
dun.
sila ang nagsabi na ikaw ay nagdala ng mga karton-karton na mga chemical sa Dumoy.
Opo, Your Honor.
Oh, Mr. Wilkins, are you agreeing to what Ms. Jed said?
No, Your Honor.
No, you're not. Oh, alam mo, nung inausap ka rin namin noon panay ang mo mahilig ka sa no? Dapat ang pangalan mo yung pangalan nung kalaban ni James Bond, si Dr. No. Mahilig ka sa no So nagsasabi ka ng totoo at nagisinungaling si Ms. Jed. Is that what you're saying?
Mr. Chair, ang investigador ko noon
Is that what you're saying?
Mr. Chair, can you please
Will you
repeat
please
the question?
answer me directly? Answer me directly.
Mr. Chair, can you please repeat the question, Mr. Chair?
Ano ba yung question?
1 minute suspension.
Okay.
Hearing is resumed.
Naalala ko na. No, talagang tumatanda na tayo, no? Ang tanong ko, is that what you're saying? So, please explain.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, si Monte de Ramos was my investigator. So, ang sabi ni Jed Pilapil, dinala siya sa PIDEA. Tinanong si Jed Pilapil kung kasama ako doon na nagtatanong. Hindi siya sigurado, Mr. Chair, pero she presumed na naandun ako dahil nasa opisina ako. While in fact, wala naman siyang knowledge na naandun ako actual doon sa nag-i-investigate si Monte de Ramos, Mr. Chair.
Tama ba yon, Ms. Jed?
Your Honor, pwede po i-correct ko lang po yung statement. Kasi ganito, di ba tinanong niyo po ako kung si Wilkins Villanueva po ba yung nagtanong sa akin. Sabi ko po sa inyo, hindi po siya si Monte de Ramos, yung tao niya, ang nagtanong sa akin. Pero never ko na nagsabi na yung ano ba yung sinabi niya kanina, parang mali Kasi ang sinabi ko po, si Monte de Ramos. Tinanong mo ako ulit na ano yung...
Kasama niya.
Anong kasama ba niya?
Oo.
Sabi ko, probably kasi tao niya. Pero wala siya nung time na nag-investigate si Monte de Ramos.
Wala siya.
Wala siya.
Paano mo siya nakilala?
Kasi actually, isa siya sa mga sa akin po, nag-interrogate.
Aha. Sino po ang nagkaso sa inyo? Ang PIDEA?
Hindi ko po alam, pero sila po ngayon nag-file ng case sa amin.
Sila ang nag-file ng case sa inyo.
Opo, kasi
Ano po ang ebidensyang ipinakita sa inyo?
actually, Your
Sa
Honor,
korte?
hindi ko po alam kung ano po. Kasi
Kapagkat na-convict ka, di ba? Convicted
yun ang
ka.
actually, ayoko na nga sana itong balikan, Your Honor, 20 years ago. Medyo masakit na I was able to forgive sa PIDEA. Kasi parang kung ano man yung ginawa ng asawa ko, kasi nasira yung buhay ko at saka yung anak ko. I've learned to forgive kahit si Sir Wilkins. Ayoko na sanang balikan to. Sa totoo lang kasi masakit yung ginawa nila. Ang worst doon kasi nung time na ano ba yun, basta yung hindi ko maintindihan kasi yung inquest ba yan na before yun, nag-waiver pala ako, pina-waive ako ng, hindi ko alam kung lawyer ko, hindi ko rin naintindihan kung bakit, basta ang sabi, mag-waive ako dahil makasuhan daw sila ng illegal detention dahil wala nga kaming kaso, sa totoo lang po, Your Honor. Dahil sa takot ko po, dahil sabi ng lawyer ko, hindi ko daw alam po kung ano yung katotohanan dito. Baka daw madamay ako dito. Sabi niya, magpirma ka na lang ng waiver for safekeeping. Yun ang naintindihan ko. Pero
Sabi ng
hindi,
lawyer mo.
opo.
Sino po ang lawyer niyo nang sabi niyan?
At that time po, si Attorney Zulueta po.
Ano po siya? Saan siya nag-law lawyer?
Parang dito
Private lawyer po siya?
Opo, Your Honor.
Okay.
Tapos
So
noon,
bakit niya nasabi na pumirma na lang kayo ng waiver?
siguro Your Honor, dahil din wala talaga akong alam sa mga ganito. Dahil first time, sa life ko, sa family ko, wala akong mga kaalam-alam na mga ganyan. Siguro lang, takot din ako at that time kasi nga, sabi niya, wala daw akong alam sa mga katotohanan for safety. Actually, napilitan ako, pumirma ako ng waiver para hindi sila makasuhan ng PDEA ng illegal detention.
So, Mr. Director Wilken, can you please explain that to us? Inyong kinasuhan si Miss Jed, na-convict po siya at nakakulong ng 20 years. Narinig po ninyo, ang buhay niya ay nasira at wala siyang involvement sa operasyon ng kanyang asawa at pinabricate ng PIDEA ang kanyang mga sinasabi. Ano po masasabi niyo doon?
Mr. Chair, 3 months yung surveillance and casing operations ng PIDEA. Si Jed Pilapelsi, siya yung namimili ng mga equipment, freezer, water circulating vacuum pump. Siya yung nagdadala dun sa Dumoy Clandestine Laboratory, Mr. Chair. And then, during the time na doon sa korte, dininay ni Jed Pilapil, nakilala niya si Alex Kim. Mantalang merong mga footages kami na nag-uusap sila ni Alex Kim on a dinner. Mr. Chair, the case has already, she was convicted in court and she was upheld by the Supreme Court. Itong kaso niya, Mr. Chair. So, for 3 months, imposible hindi alam ni Jed at ni Jong Pilapil na involved siya dun sa pag-set up ng laboratory sa Dumoy. That's impossible, Mr. Chair.
Ano po masasabi niyo ron, Miss Jed?
Sabi ko nga po, Your Honor, napatawad ko na po sila. Mahirap na po makipagtalo kay, sorry po, Mr. Villanueva, pero pinaglaban nga namin, kung pwede nga lang siguro, sa Honorable Court na to, ito sa Quadcom, pwede nyo naman po mabasa yung lahat ng ano, kasi yung sinasabi ni Sir Villanueva, na dininay ko si Alex Kim, never po na nag-deny ako sa kanya dahil nga siya yung lessee ng property ko. At nakarecord yan sa court na kami ay may contract of lease. Paano ko sabihin na hindi ko siya kilala? Nagpirmahan kami.
Matagal na kasi yung kaya palagay ko, wala na yung mga records. Ano po?
Palagay ko po, Your Honor, hindi ko na po
kayo
alam.
makakuha ng record para malaman po natin kung talagang sinabi niyong hindi niyo kilala si Alex Kim.
Pwede po, Your Honor. Di ba archive siguro yan? Pero ewan ko lang kasi 20 years ago, parang kahit nga ako yung ibang events, hindi ko na alam po.
Mr. Chair, ano bang magagawa natin dito? Yes. Kung halimbawa, kung makita natin na talagang totoo ang sinasabi ni Mr. Wilkins o totoo yung sinasabi ni Ms. Jed.
Chairman Caraps,
Chairman, before, with the indulgence of Congressman Denny. Anyway, Sir Wilkins, doon sa narration ni Jed, tama po ba na of course, again, you will not remember the exact date, but ito, tandaan ni Jane, noong January 4, 2005, inimbitahan niyo daw si Jane, si Jed, at saka sa opisina niyo.
Hindi ko ma-remember yung
Oh,
date.
yung date. Pero,
basta
but you
inimbitahan
confirm.
siya.
But you confirm.
Na ininbitahan siya sa
Oh, yeah.
office. I don't know the date, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Now, second, is it correct na nag-sign siya ng waiver?
I don't know, Mr. Chair.
Why?
Hindi para sa akin yung Mr. Chair. I have my investigator.
No, but you're the head.
Hindi na usually
Sir Wilkins. Maglulukuhan ba tayo dito?
no, Mr. Chair, kasi Sa akin, Mr. Chair.
Project mo yun.
Yes, Mr.
Oh,
Chair.
ngayon, kinuha niyo yung subject, yung supposedly suspect, without a warrant. Di ba tama? Without a warrant? Their invitation?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
O now, para hindi kayo makasuhan, nag-waive siya. Pumirma ng waiver, tama?
Hindi ko alam, Mr. Chair, kung nag-waiver siya because my investigator, sila yun, Mr. Chair eh. Usually, Mr. Chair, pag head
Mr.
ka ng
Wilkins,
office,
Mr. Wilkins, ikaw yung head of office, napakalaking project, tapos hindi mo alam, tapos hinayaan mo yung mga tao mo na papirmahin yung subject or yung suspect for a waiver?
Mr. Chair, as head of office, ang in-charge dyan is investigator. I delegate the job sa investigator. Anyway, Mr. Chair, may lawyer sila, Mr. Chair eh.
But in that case, Mr. Wilkins, are you not liable if ever there will be a violation of the rights of because you're just at the head and there is an investigator? Ito, theoretical lang.
Mr. Chair,
Are you not liable? Theoretical hindi ko sinasabi na he has all the basis of his overclaim.
usually, Mr. Chair, sa...
Hindi nga. At tinatanong ko, theoretical. Hypothetical. Theoretical. Are you liable or not?
No, Mr. Chair.
Why?
Dahil hindi naman...
But you are the head of
Yes, Mr.
the office.
Yes,
If-
Mr. Chair.
If illegal activity or whatever violation of law under your office, as the head of office, you are liable, especially in this case. Especially in this case, this is a very big project of your office. Oh, si
Mr.
AC
Chair.
nandito. Ito, si AC, this is not, si AC, this is the subject. Are you a lawyer, sir?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, and to all the other members of the
This is the subject in your invitation, no? But tanongin na kita. In this case, eto, hypothetical lang. If the investigator of Wilkins violates the right of the suspect, is he not liable of any case?
Mr. Chair, there are circumstances that has to be met for the principle of command responsibility to apply to the extent that the principal may be liable. Because, Mr. Chair, as explained by former Executive Director General Villanueva, he mentioned that he delegated the conduct of, if I heard him correctly, the conduct of that operation to his investigator.
No, that is not the conduct of
So-
the operation, the conduct of the investigation,
Conduct
of the interrogation,
Mr. Chair.
of the interrogation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Pero sa project, nandun siya. Directly being supervised by Mr. Wilkins.
Like
At
I'm-
inamin niya yan. Well, in fact, nagyabang pa siya dito. That is not a project of a Asierto, that is my project. And that's in record. Now, in that case, attorney,
yes, Mr. Chair.
is he liable?
Again, Mr. Chair, as I've mentioned nga po, there are circumstances that would qualify
Cora
po.
Paduano,
Ah.
the indulgence na lang, attorney. Ang tanong natin is he liable on the basis of command responsibility?
Mr. Chair, as I am explaining, there should be qualifying circumstances present in a case for a principal to be liable under command responsibility.
There is,
Kailangan
just like what you've said, that he delegated the authority to investigate. Kumonte de Ramos. Hindi na makapagsasabi ngayon, patay na eh. Palagay ko, namatay siya dahil dyan eh.
Mr. Chair,
Pangalawa, walang arrest warrant. Is that a violation too?
Mr. Chair, if I heard the representation of Mr. Villanueva correctly a while ago, the matter is already decided with finality in the Supreme Court. I would not like to comment on the merits thereof, as it may violate our duty as lawyer as far as there is already a decision made by the Supreme Court. But again, with regard po doon sa possible accountability, administrative accountability or liability of Mr. Villanueva as the principal or head of the office during the time of that conduct of investigation, it will all depend po dun sa mga attending circumstances. Because as I mentioned, Mr. Chair, one of the requirements is that the principal should know that there is an irregularity or an omission that was committed, and despite knowing of such irregularity or wrong committed by his subordinates, he failed to take corrective actions on the matter. So
The irregularity caused the brokenness of the family, actually. Anyway, Miss Jed, nabanggit mo na hanggang ngayon, hindi mo alam kung buhay pa o patay na ang iyong asawa? Hanggang ngayon, hindi mo alam.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Wilkins, alam mo ba na patay na si Alan T?
Mr. Chair, wala siya doon sa laboratory when the time was when we raided the laboratory, Mr. Chair.
So hindi mo rin alam kung buhay
Hindi
siya.
ko alam, Mr. Chair.
Oh, okay. So, ayan. Miss Jed, narinig mo ang sinabi ni Director Wilkins na hindi rin niya alam kung buhay o patay ang asawa mo.
Opo, Your Honor. Actually, kung pwede pa akong magsalita, sabi ko nga, sa 20 years, I was able to accept na God has a purpose. Kung buhay man si Alan C. or patay, gusto ko na sana matahimik na po ito, Your Honor. Kasi nag-suffer na po ako ng 20 years, yung anak ko. Di ba kanina sabi nga ng may decided na may finality na po yung kaso namin. Wala na akong magawa eh. Pero siguro tama yung sinasabi sa Bible na Proverbs 13:23 na for lack of justice there is waste. By waste talaga. Kasi yung buhay namin ng kami, magkapatid. Supposedly, hindi kami nagpapagasto sa gobyerno, sa pagkain, sa rasyon, sa kulungan. Siguro mas productive ko pag nasa labas. Pero sa nangyari, anyway, sabi ko nga, wala na kami magawa. Tapos na eh. 20 years, hindi ganun kadali. Pero with God's grace po, He has a purpose at naging makabuluhan ng buhay ko sa kulungan. At yun ang pinapapasalamat ko. Sana po, bigyan na po ng peace ito kasi parang useless din, Your Honor. Dahil hindi na po maibabalik lahat ng na-damage sa buhay ko.
Salamat po sa inyong attitude. Ilan taon pa po kayo sa kulungan?
Ano?
Ilan taon pa po kayo sa kulungan? Nakawala na ba kayo o ano ba? Ang status nyo ngayon?
Actually po, Your Honor, as far as I know po, I have already served the maximum sentence po. Kasi nga, with the GCTA po, nagpapasalamat po sa Panginoon dahil nga, mayroon yung bagong yata batas. I was able to avail ng GCTA. So from jail, sa tulong ni God, I was able to maintain yung good attitude ko sa jail until sa correctional. And I am even the trustee mula sa jail hanggang sa correctional. At ito ay pinapasalamatan ko dahil it's a privilege. Privilege lang po ito. And siguro nga, sabi ko nga, may purpose si God. At sa ngayon, so sana, I would like to take this opportunity to speak if I may be allowed by this honorable committee na sana po, mabigyan na po ng pansin yung hinihiling ko na kalayaan, pati yung kapatid ko. Kasi 3 years old pa po yung anak ko, mag-23 na. Ang hirap i-explain sa kanya kung bakit hanggang ngayon nandito pa rin kami ng kapatid ko.
Ang iyong kapatid na convict din.
Opo, Your Honor. Nasa Dapicol po siya.
Kumusta na po siya ngayon?
Sa awa ng Diyos nga, Your Honor, both of us,
Wala rin din po siyang kasalanan.
pareho po kami, Your Honor. I will speak for my brother kasi kilala ko siya.
Kumusta yung anak ninyo ngayon?
sa ngayon po, masasabi ko siguro sa tulong ni God, I tried to explain to her na God has a purpose. She must be strong. Sabi ko sa kanya, medyo nasaktan lang siya talaga. Dahil nga ito sa nangyari ngayon, bakit naungkat na naman ito? Dahil tapos na nga. Tumahimik na nga yung buhay ko sa 20 years sa kulungan. Bakit ito? Pero siguro, baka ito yung opportunity na sana mapansin na makauwi na rin kami ng kapatid ko. At para na rin kung okay lang po na. Marami po sa mga kasamahan ko sa kulungan na baka kasi itong body na to, I am praying for this body, hindi lang sa yung lawmakers ng Philippines na i-enlighten po kayo kasi ang daming, siguro, yung 20 years ko sa kulungan na nakita ko na baka mabigyan nyo rin ng pansin, lalo na po yung matatanda na namamatay na lang doon, sobra na ng 20 years, hindi pa nakakalaya. Yun lang po sana maano ko na sana hindi lang po ako mabigyan ng pansin po yung mga nakakulong.
Mr. Wilkins, alam ko po na mahirap din ang inyong kalagayan. Ano po? Pero alam nyo, tulad ng testimony po ni Ms. Jed, kung totoo po yung sinasabi niya, you are guilty of human rights violation. Kung totoo yung sinasabi niya, Mr. Wilkins. Tama ho ba ako?
I don't think so, Mr. Chair.
Sabi ko, kung totoo ang sinasabi niya, you are guilty of human rights violation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You are. Correct.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Kung totoo yung sinasabi niya.
Kung totoo,
Yes,
you
Mr.
are
Chair.
guilty
Yes,
of
Mr.
human
Chair.
rights violation. Sasabihin ko sa iyo, kung totoo ang sinasabi niya, hindi ka na makakatulog mamayang gabi.
Mr. Chair. 20 years yan, Mr. Chair. Kitang-kita
Hindi ko
ko
na-
sa mga
hindi ko na-
video.
Hindi ko na kinakailangan pang explanation mo, Mr. Wilkins. Mr. Chair, gusto ko naman tanungin po itong, I'm so glad that Ms. Fortune is with us today. Dr. Fortune, ano po, you have done a lot of forensics, no? Sa mga biktima po ng extrajudicial killings, no? So, we'd like to find out kung ano yung findings niyo po sa kanila.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. Mr. Chair, I have been in practice in the Philippines as a forensic pathologist for almost 30 years. And yes, I have seen time and again these so-called victims of extrajudicial killings. And lately, I have been busy with the victims or the deaths during the war on drugs from 2016 onwards. I have seen some autopsies, and I am now in the process of examining skeletal remains as well. I have seen other deaths involving, that's it, allegations of drug use even before 2016. I'm still seeing victims of activists, red tag, people, environmentalists, allegedly killed by the military as well. So I have seen.
Dr. Fortune, how many victims have you autopsied so far as the war on drugs is concerned?
Autopsied, this was 2016 to 2019, I saw about 30 cases.
30.
Exhumations, 2016 onwards, we have been exhuming because it's been 5 years and they were buried in public cemeteries and the families could not afford extending the lease. I have been doing this with AJ Kalinga Foundation through Father Flavi, and some other parties have approached me. So in total, I have seen 114 exhumed cases.
Dr. Fortune, in all of those that you have autopsied, ano po ang findings nyo? For example, like they have been killed. Nanlaban po ba sila o they were just killed without even, lumaban o talagang nanlaban?
In all of these cases, the best is you do homicide investigation, which is basic. which generally had not been done in the shootings. You would want to, what we call, reconstruct the shooting. What is the body saying, the victim, the dead victim, the other evidence, the scene, versus, as you say, what are the allegations of those who are living, those who did the killing. And in many situations, I am not able to do this because I just see the body already embalmed, sometimes examined, autopsied, with very little crime scene information. I don't have the clothes, I don't have the bullets, although some I have seen. In other words, I am not able to work with a team, which is how it should be. But in answer to your question, nanlaban ba sila o hindi, sometimes it is obvious that these people are restrained. So there are marks of restraint.
What do you mean restrained, Dr. Fortune?
They are cuffed. Okay? That's one. And this...
Were they tortured first before they were killed?
The word torture implies that they were made to suffer before they were killed. We don't necessarily use that in our final determination, but well, I have seen some with injuries that were apparently before they were killed, but this is a case very memorable to me, but not necessarily involving drugs. This was Mr. Randall Echanis. So